This clip is designed to show you how to make a lapped zip, which you're going to be using in the back of your skirts this semester. Now we're going to place the two back skirt pieces right sides together. Pop the zip on top so that you can work out how long the opening needs to be for the zip, and pop a pin in just where the end of the zip is. That's that little silver stopper at the bottom of the zip. Then we need to pin the seam allowance below the zip opening. Now we're preparing to sew it. So what we're going to do is use a 2 centimetre seam allowance to sew this seam. That's so that we have a bit more space when we sew our zipping. Begin with the back stitch, and those sew from the bottom of the skirt towards the last pin that you've pinned, which marks the opening for the zip, and back stitch. Now we take the back skirts over to the ironing board and we iron the seam flat first just to set the stitches, and then place the skirt back over the ironing board, and then we're going to iron the seam allowances open. Once we get to the opening where the zip is meant to go, we iron the seam allowances back so that there's a 2 centimetres turned back on each side, and it has a good strong crease line in it. Once you've pressed it, take it over to the table and flip your skirt to the right side. We're going to be placing the zip under the right back of the skirt and just slide it under the seam allowance so that the top of the tape of the zip is in line with the top of the skirt. And pin. Pin so that the edge of the skirt is right close to the coil of the zip or the zip tee, but not so close as to stop the zip slider from going up and down and closing and opening the zip. Now we need to change the presser foot from a standard straight zigzag foot to a zipper foot, which is a lot skinnier than the other one. Once you've changed to the zipper foot, you need to make sure the needle is not in the center anymore, otherwise it will hit the foot and break. So we move the needle to the side where it will be between the zipper foot and the zipper. I will lower it by hand using the hand wheel, lower the foot, and then do a little back stitch, and then try and line up the edge of the fabric with the edge of the presser foot, and you'll get a nice straight line where the needle just sews very close to the edge but not over the edge. Just taking the pins out as you go. When you get to the very top of the zip, do a little back stitch to make sure it doesn't come undone. Now place the skirt onto your table, right side up, and you lap the left hand side of the back just over the zip so it covers the zip completely, and pin it. Pin it from the bottom of the zip towards the top of the zip, because you're going to be sewing in that direction, from the bottom of the zip to the top. Once it's pinned, we go back to the sewing machine and the zipper foot, which is already there, and adjust the needle so again that it's going to be between the zip and the foot. We're going to be sewing from the bottom of the zip up to the top of the zip. I always like to lower my needle first into the work and then take the pin out, lower the foot and back stitch. You're going to try and sort of keep your distance about 8 millimeters from the folded edge of the fabric. Try and keep a nice straight line till you get towards the top of the zip. When you get near the zip slider, it's a bit bulky, so we leave the needle down, lift the presser foot, push the slider past, lower the foot and then continue. This is the closest your fingers will probably get to the needle, so you need to be careful here. Back stitch at the end. Clip all of your threads, any loose threads that are still hanging that you haven't clipped. And you've finally finished your first lapped zip.